Hello and welcome to Coffee and Catholics, a Catholic women's talk show podcast. I'm Stacy, one of your hosts, and with me I have...
Hi, I'm Alicia.
I'm Annie.
And I'm Lauren.
Hello and welcome to Coffee and Catholics. This week we are talking with Barbara and Adriana from Willow Pregnancy Services. If you remember, about this time last year, around January, we had an episode that we released with Dolores from Rose Home and Willow Pregnancy Services, and they're just here to kind of tell us some of the things that the work that they're continuing to do, some updates on the Rose Home, and just any stories or anything else they want to share with us today. So thank you, ladies, for coming.
It's our pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Barbara, what's your position at Willow?
At Willow, I'm the executive director, and I've been with the organization since it started. And in 2023, we will be celebrating 50 years.
Woo, congratulations.
So we are just, we plan to have a real big celebration. Yeah, so as a matter of fact, on Saturday, it'll be our birthday, March the 5th. And that was the time, the date that we first opened our very first office, not knowing what was going to happen or how it would flourish or not flourish, or whether we would be help anyone. We just knew that if we could just help one woman that was facing an unexpected, unintended pregnancy, then it was all worth it. And that was the whole goal, was just, let me just help one. And there had been a lot of publicity and stories and television shows that were really trying to promote abortion. And of course, at that time, abortion wasn't legal. And so we didn't realize what was coming. We were asleep, to say the least. And then when the Supreme Court did rule in January, we had already laid the groundwork to open our offices. And basically, we just wanted to help just that one woman that needed a little bit of extra support so that she could carry her child to term.
Mm-hmm. That's wonderful. Mm-hmm. Adriana, what is your position at Willow?
I am a program director for the South Office. We have 3 locations. We have one in Bethany, one in Edmond, and the southwest Oklahoma City. So I'm the program director there. And today is my 2nd year anniversary.
Oh, yes. Happy anniversary.
Thank you.
Well, we're big fans here. We would love to help you guys out when we'll put your Amazon link up on our website. Yes. Every once in a while, try and get some of those things.
Thank you.
So besides just helping women get material things, what else do you provide for women who come see you?
It's not just the material things, even though I know that they need them, But I think the most important thing that we offer is that of ourselves, is that we're willing to invest our time with them and help them in support, to listen to them, to be that listening ear, to give them encouragement so that whatever they want to do, they can do. Many times when a woman faces an unexpected pregnancy, she thinks she can't have the baby. And we're there to tell her that she can, that that's not going to change things forever, that it's just for that 9 months. I think that a lot of times what I've learned, and in my opinion, is that the women see the pregnancy as one thing and the baby is another. They don't want to be pregnant, but once they realize that it's a baby, then they want the baby. Yeah. So we just see that over and over again. The services that we offer, of course, when they come in, number one is to confirm their pregnancy through a pregnancy test, and then through a limited ultrasound. And then the other things that, we have our material goods room, our blessing room, in which they're able to get maternity clothes and baby clothes and, set up a program there. But, and then we have the prenatal clinic where they can come for their first prenatal visit and, get started. I've learned over the years that if you can provide these services for them immediately or right away, then it's easier for them to follow through with their pregnancy, if they know that these things are there for them. So, those are the things that we offer. But it's more than that. And in some cases, you really can't even explain it. It's just a spiritual thing that happens to them, even though, we just kind of help them along and help them realize all the different things. And the other thing is that each woman that comes through our doors, that graces our doors, each woman is an individual. And each woman is different, just like we all are. And so we don't try to rubber stamp them and put them in a box. We allow them to tell us what their needs are, and then we try to figure out a way to help them. So, and yes, we've had women that have come to us and we've done everything we can, and they still choose to abort. We can't change that. It's not what we want. But we also know that that's what she is going to choose. The other thing, though, is that if we let her understand and if we let her realize how valuable she is, even though she's aborts, we also know that she's going to get pregnant again immediately, if not soon after, simply because she's going to want to atone for that baby. And when that happens, then she, we want the door to be open for her to come back and for her to visit us. And if we don't convey our best to her, then she may not come back. So we want to, the essence of our service is love, and love doesn't bring destruction. And so we want to make sure that she understands that, but at the same time that we accept her where she's at and that she can come back anytime and visit with us.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, last year we had spoke with Dolores about Rose Home, and I went to go back to listen to the episode, and I got distracted by children, so I didn't get to finish. Speaking of children. But I was trying to remember, at that point, you were with Rose Home. They were getting ready to break ground on a new facility, I believe. What's the update on that now?
Well, we started Rose Home in 1986. And it was, prior to that, we had private homes that we could put girls in. And it was during an era when women stayed home. And so we would call them mutual assist homes. The girl could come and help with babysitting or a little housekeeping, and she would have a private room for herself and, get room and board. But then things changed. And one of the biggest changes is that women went into the workforce, over the years. And so then we didn't have any homes where this was possible. Pregnant women also, they feel very alone and very abandoned. And so we didn't want them to feel that way. And so we started looking to set up a program where we could have a group home for our moms. And back then we had a lot of homes, but the requirement for them being in those homes is that they had to place their babies for adoption, or they had to consider. I remember the first girl that I helped, I took her to an agency that I thought would help her, with everything that she needed. And they wouldn't help her because she wouldn't place the baby for adoption. So, if you really want to look at the history, then all that is encompassed in that, in that there was a time when, women were shamed because they were pregnant. The only choice they had was to place the baby for adoption or marry the father of the baby, which most girls didn't want to. They were, in a sense, innocent back then in that they were coerced into having premarital sex, with the promise that if you get pregnant, I'll marry you. But they did and they didn't, So all of that kind of brought us to where we were, that we needed a safe place for mothers to go to, that there would be no pressure. And so that's when we started. And our first home was in the Paseo area. And that's a whole story in and of itself. And then in 2018, the house caught fire. And it was at that time that we realized we needed to expand our services, and that maybe it was time for us to do a campaign and, sell our properties that we had there and build a new home. So COVID hit. And it just kind of took our plans full force, to say the least. And so we had a lot of delays due to permits with the city, in trying to finding, the right property, just took us a long time. In the meantime, we leased a home where we could house our mothers during that period of time. And then finally, in May, we were able to get all our paperwork and all our ducks in a row. We had our architect, who happened to be the same architect that designed our South Office. When I was looking to build a new South Office and our headquarters, it was really difficult because nobody would talk to me. They would, I would tell them what I would need. I'd call architect firms and they'd say, well, how much money do you have? And I said, well, I don't have any. I need to know how much it's going to cost. Well, click, but not this gentleman. This gentleman answered the phone and I told him who I was and what I wanted. And he decided to come visit us and spent 2 hours with Ruth and I as we told him what our dream was. And, he said, okay, here's what I'll do. If, I want to make you a site plan and make you a floor plan. Use this to raise your money. If you raise your money, you're going to owe me X amount. If you don't raise it, you won't owe me anything. And so I had to go back to him for Rose Home. So we did, and we got our contractor, and we broke ground in June or July. I don't remember exactly what month. Yeah, but it was hot. I remember it was so hot. We'd had such great weather until that day.
It was hot.
Yeah, and since then it's just been a slow process, and yet we're kind of on target. For instance, the bricks were due last week, and they're not going to come till the middle of March.
With all the delays that we're
just
experiencing.
little delays and that. But the other thing is that the cost of material goods has gone up so much higher. So we're looking to raise probably another $250,000 to $300,000 so that we're okay. All that was covered with the first go around, but now with our second go around, and then 2 years later, this is what has happened. It's just been really a challenge. But at the same time, in just reminiscing this evening and going over through everything, I can see that it's not on my time that these things are happening, but it's in God's time.
Mm-hmm.
I need to really focus on that and realize that God will provide and will touch the hearts of people to donate to us and to help us to get over this. Because I can't tell you how many women have come to the office looking for a place to stay.
We receive phone calls every day, with everything that has been happening and with the government assistance when it started to cease for rental assistance, and just daily we receive phone calls of pregnant women homeless. So it's heartbreaking.
It is. And it's hard to tell a mother, you can get through this, and then she has all these obstacles. And so this is one of the obstacles that we want to make sure. And the home in and of itself is just going to be absolutely amazingly beautiful. It'll be 8 bedrooms. We'll house 8 mothers. Some of the bedrooms will be suites so that we can use one of the rooms for children, and yet they won't all be in one room together. We will have offices and counseling rooms for the girls if they need a counselor. We will have a playroom and then a large living, dining, and kitchen. And it'll be a commercial kitchen because we want to give the girls cooking lessons, something that is a lost art. And then we'll have a classroom. And then it has a screen-in porch, and then a huge laundry facility where we'll have at least 3 washers and dryers, so that and then storage for items and stuff, and it'll have a 3-car garage. So about 7,200 square feet.
You mentioned the kitchen and the cooking lessons. That was one of the things that really caught my attention when we talked to Dolores last year, because I was like, I want to take those classes. Like some of the things that the girls were offering the girls, I just thought was amazing. Like this is the type of stuff that they really need, like that hands-on, everyday life skills.
Yes.
Exactly.
And it's just beautiful.
And we did it
healthier.
Yeah, and we did that when we were in the prior Rose Home, and so But I think we've evolved a lot. A lot of people are going to eating without preservatives and things like that. So we have a few businesses that have joined us and want to help us, in providing fresh fruits and vegetables and people that have gardens that'll bring us. And we want to set up a garden, just something small, nothing large, but to teach them. And that's also very therapeutic.
Yes.
When you look back.
That's the class I need.
Just a hands-on things. Yeah.
And we pray that it will be ready
Yes.
this year.
Yeah. Our hope is that construction will be finished at the end of April, and that we're able to start receiving clients in July. So give us a couple of months to stage everything.
Yeah.
And then we need a couple of months in there to house a few open houses.
You mentioned the financial need. How can, if any of our listeners are interested in helping out financially, where would you direct them?
I would direct them to our website at willowpregnancy.org.
Okay.
And
we'll
there's
have
a place
that in the notes.
Yeah. And there's a place on there to hit donate.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
So they can donate to either the program for Willow or Rose Home. Yeah. And or directly to Rebuild Rose Home.
There's a link on there directly for the rebuild as well.
Yes, there is.
Okay.
Oh, so also talking about funds, you have a wonderful fundraiser that we were able to. Yeah. Well, I was able to go to the gala, which I was like, yay.
The rest of everybody else went to the.
You were able to make it.
He was born.
That's right.
The day or the night, the day after, I can't remember.
Coffee and Catholics, we were able to go to the garden party last year, and except for Annie because she just had baby.
What was happening? What was the date? I'm trying to remember now. I think it might have been like the day after, and I was like, man, I could have gone or something like that.
That too. Yes, our garden party this year will be again at Cole's Gardens, and it is on April the 21st. Which is a Thursday.
Yeah. Last year was May 27th.
Yeah.
And that's his birthday.
Yeah. It was the day off. Yeah.
And what was the date? One more time, just so it was
April
21st.
21st. All right.
April 21st. Yes. Do we have a date for the gala?
Yes.
Okay.
Is the garden party? Is there a link on the website as well for registering for that yet? Or
yes, there should be. Yes.
Okay.
I'm not very techy. So the gala is September 17th, which is a Saturday. And that will be held again at the Omni.
Oh,
yes.
that was nice.
Yeah.
So,
Did you enjoy
it? Yes, it was good. It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
She sent me a selfie.
Yes. And those are our two major fundraisers. It's a great time for us to get together and to really enjoy each other's company and share with each other the things that we're doing and the things that we want to do and find ways to really help our mothers. So the garden parties, the funds there go to Rose Home, and then the gala funds go for Willow and to do those programs. So I would say that every day we receive a call from a mother that needs our help. Today, for instance, I talked to a young mother that was pregnant and she needed some baby clothes, and she had heard that we could help her, and she's already 8.5 months pregnant and she doesn't have anything, and she didn't know what she was going to do, so she'll be coming back and we'll get all of her things together that she's going to need, Sometimes the women that come to us, through Willow aren't in a crisis, or they're in a crisis for another reason. It doesn't have to do with the pregnancy. Yeah. So can you share any of those, Adriana?
I guess sometimes it's not necessarily the pregnancy, but they are living in maybe an abusive relationship. There's a lot of domestic violence going around. So, what we do too is we offer referrals. So when when a woman needs help with other things that maybe we cannot provide, we know places or agencies in the community that can actually help. We love children, it's okay. So yes, I think referrals are important. Referrals to either counseling or help with the domestic violence through other agencies.
Where their problem is greater than what we can do.
What we can do,
but we also give them that start and
Sure.
that confidence to be able to do that.
Right, a safe place, safe
That-
person
yes,
to listen
yes,
to.
exactly.
Like
And
somebody who believes them.
Yes,
I know in
yes.
a lot of domestic violence
listens
Yes,
to them.
yes.
cases it's finding someone to believe that there's that issue
Yes,
actually happening.
yes.
And sometimes what I've noticed is women open up to, I guess the first thing is we're strangers. We're not a family member. We're not that may tell them what to do or judge them or, but we are here to just listen to them and empathize with them. And so that's sometimes what makes them feel at ease in sharing
yes.
their situation.
Yeah, that they really, really, really listen. That we really listen to them. That no one else is listening to them before.
Yes.
Mhm.
And if I may just go back, we were talking about donations. I just want to thank so many people who donate material items to our offices, Willow, at all the offices, because without those donations, we get so many phone calls asking for diapers. Formula is so expensive.
Yes.
Wipes, baby clothes, and all kinds of things that, sometimes it's funny, it happened this week. We have been out of diapers on certain sizes, for some reason, size 4, 5, 6. Those are the ones that are, really, really requested, demanded. And we didn't have any. And it was not yesterday, but the day before yesterday, by the door, there were 3 big cases of size 4, 5, and 6 just left in front of the door. We didn't know who, but that happens very often. So, yes.
And for our listeners who aren't local, Willow does have an Amazon wish list account, so you don't have to be in Oklahoma to donate.
Absolutely. So, yes.
And there are Dropbox, like some churches have
Yes,
have
they do.
places where you can drop off
Yes,
as well.
so they organize a baby shower, some of the local schools as well. So, yes, and that's wonderful. We couldn't do without that. We have many volunteers who maybe, since COVID hit, we talked about this earlier, they just decided to stay at home or be safe, and they're not necessarily in the office, but they make quilts. Or they crochet, little booties or hats, and all those things are just so. It's just so beautiful when you see the face of a woman just light up with excitement with the little pink booties, and it's just so cool.
Well, it helps her to nest.
Yes,
And so,
it's real.
it becomes
It's
a reality, yes. Yeah. I see that.
I just think it's so beautiful how you guys, we talk a lot on this podcast about walking with people where they are and journeying with them and not being judgmental or trying to fix anything. You just are there to listen and help and provide them with the things that they feel that they need at that time. And I love how you guys do these classes with them, with the women that are in the homes, and to show that they are valued and how beautiful their lives are and the lives of their children are. And we just really appreciate all the work that you guys do for women and babies.
We don't do it alone.
No, we don't do it alone.
It takes all of us.
Yeah.
It takes all of us. It takes all of us living our faith to be able to help other people. I heard this wise pastor say one time that Jesus had died for us and we were saved. And that all that was left for us to do was to take care of each other. And those words have come back to me over and over and over again. It's just to take care of our little mothers and just to listen to them. Just to listen to them. I remember I had a case years ago, and she was young. She was 15. She didn't want the baby. She was too young. Her mother was going to kill her, which is typical words. Well, her mother was very abusive with her, and she wound up leaving her mother's home and, living someplace else. And she had gotten an apartment, and she was 15. She had the baby. She finished high school. She had a job. She had her own apartment. A very tenacious young lady. And she carried all of her important papers in her purse. And she called me in the middle of the night, and she was just so upset because she had taken a cab home, and she had put her purse on top of the cab to take the baby out. And the cab drove off, and her purse went.
Wow.
So all of her money, everything was there. And so she called me, and she was crying, and she was very upset. And I said, well, honey, you just need to pray. I said, just pray that you can accept. I said, I can replace the money. We'll get your all your cards and all your documentation. We can replace all that. I said, don't stress. I said, don't stress about it. It'll be okay. The sun's going to come up in the morning. And like I said, she was just in tears, uncontrollable. And we hung up. Maybe 30, 45 minutes later, she called me and she says, I have faith, Barbara, I have faith. I said, you do? She said, yes, I do. I did what you told me. I prayed. And a man brought me my wallet, and it's all there.
Oh.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. And so those are the things that, we get so caught up in, the political issue of abortion. We get all caught up on all of these other things. And not that they're not important, but we forget, the real driving force. And that's our mothers and babies.
Yes.
That's our pregnant mamas. And we've got, I can't save the whole world. I can't save the one. I can't do that. I can only give her the tools necessary so that she can do something with her life and give her that support. And it's taken me all this time to realize that. Because as a mother, as a woman, my first instinct is to fix things. And I can't. I've learned that I can't fix them. I can only be there. Right. And I can only do so much.
And some of these women, all of these women are so resilient and so courageous. And they teach us so many things every day.
Yes.
That is just mind-blowing.
Yeah,
it's just that it just takes for them to gain that confidence of who they are. Who they are as, as in the realm of creation. And then it just goes from there. And it's just beautiful to see when we make the phone calls, because we call them when we know their due date is around, and then call them to see how they are. And sometimes we don't hear from them from the pregnancy test until that day. And they come back to pick up their layette, their basket with baby stuff, and they bring their baby to our office. And that is just the most amazing, thing. It's just so beautiful.
I just listening to your witness, both of you ladies, but especially you, Barbara, having been just from the beginning and hearing and everything that Willow has done, and it's just you can see God's hand in it, and I just think that's so beautiful. Especially as you were saying, you started this right before Roe v. Wade, and not having you didn't know what was in store, but God did.
Yeah,
God did.
I think the hardest part, in all of these years, is there've been so many times that we didn't feel that we had support out in the community, and then we'd get one of those little carrots that God gives us, and then it just magnifies itself. And then I think, why didn't I think of that sooner? Why didn't I realize that sooner? And, so we just, a lot of trials, a lot of tribulations. A lot of people thought that we wouldn't last, that we were just a group of little old ladies begging for alms, which we were, which we still are. But at the same time, it's just been a real journey. A real journey.
Sounds like a beautiful one.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you both for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yes.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
And again, to all of our listeners, we'll link their website. And if you want to go and donate to Willow or Rose Home, it's there on the website. And also, if you want to donate material goods, we'll have their Amazon link in our notes also. And if you're local, the garden party's coming up, and then the gala's in a couple of months after that. So please come join. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
And as always, thank you for joining us.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Join us again in 2 weeks.
Until then, may God bless you and may Mary accompany you.